Okay, this video is going to provide some review for lesson 10.9. If you went through that entire slide, you would have seen that I already went over problem 4 at the very bottom of the slide. If you didn't get a chance to take a look at that, you might want to, so that you can see kind of a really clear way how to look at these two problems. So today, what I'm going to look at is I'm going to go over the story problems. Story problems always seem to be good to kind of go over and talk about what we're see going on here. So let's start. Solve each problem, show your thinking. A walking track is 8/10 miles long. Raymond walks 4 miles in total. How many times did he walk the track? So we have a total number that he walked. So we could say in total, and watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to start by, I'm going to give an equal sign. I'm going to say that the total that this person walked was 4 miles. That means that this person walked 0.8 times, and we don't know, this is our unknown number here. We'll put an n. 8/10 times n to equal 4 miles. So we'll have to decide what that means. I could also look at this in terms of a division problem, where I start with my total, and I divide by 8/10. Oops, there's 8/10 to get my answer. A third way I could do this, I'm so sorry to do this, but I could take this amount, 4 miles, divided by, and instead of looking at this as an 8/10 as a decimal, I can look at this as a fraction, 8/10. So if we're going to do it this way, we know we're going to keep change flip. We end up saying 4 times 10 over 8. We're given 40 over 8, and then we need to divide 8 into 40. Let's go ahead and look at it this way. We've got 4 miles divided by 8/10. So if I'm going to do this, I'm probably going to set it up as a long division problem. And we have not looked at this too much, but we're going to look at it right now. When we do a division problem with a decimal fraction has our dividend, what we need to do is we need to move the decimal over one place. If we do that, we have to do it with the divisor too, so we'll move it over here. So that gives me an extra 0 with a decimal point of right here. Then we have 8 divided into 40. I can do that a lot easier than thinking of 8/10. I can see that answer is 5, excuse me. And so we can apply that and see if that works in each one of these other places. 40 over 8 is 5. 8/10 times 5 equals 4. So you can see those are 3 different ways, almost a fourth way here, that we can solve this same problem. Please feel free to rewind this and watch this part again if it helps you. I'm now going to erase and do part B. Part B says that Coda buys 7,500 kilograms of carrots, which is 5 times the mass of the onion he also buys. How much does the onion weigh? 5 times the mass of the onion he also buys. Okay. For me on this one, it does look like the best way to do this is to start by looking at it as a multiplication problem. We see 5. And it says times, so that's simple. We're going to just put the time symbol there, times the mass of the onion. So we don't know. Let's just go ahead and use a little lowercase o for onion. Oh boy, let's not do that. Let's call this a q. 5 times q equals 0 and 75 hundredths kilograms. So 5 times something equals 7,500 kilograms. We should see that whatever this letter Q equals, that it's going to be a decimal fraction that's going to have a hundredths place value to it. Maybe it'll have a tenths, but it'll also have a hundreds place value as well. So let's rewrite this. Let's think about how this would look as a division problem. And let's go from there. So we're going to start, and we could have flipped 5 and Q around. The Q could have gone first, and the 5 could have gone second. I just like the idea of putting it in this order. But what we need to do, because these are two factors, I can divide either one of these factors into this to get my answer. So my division problem will look like this: 0 and 75 kilograms divided by 5 equals, I'm going to go with Q again, right there. So that's my division problem as it stands right now. So 5 goes into 75. I'm not going to worry too much about the decimal point, but I need to keep in mind that I'm going to have probably a tenths and a hundreds place value here. So let's go ahead and let's take 5 into 75. We'll do the long division form here. 5 goes into 7 once. We subtract that away. We need to be careful as we're doing this. We put a 2 there and then drop down the 5. 5 times something gives us 25. Well, 5 times 5. So remember that I had a decimal fraction in the hundreds place. So I'm going to go ahead and put my decimal place right there. In fact, we could even put our decimal place right there, and remember, we've got to drag it right up above that. So our answer is 15 hundredths kilograms.